Greatest moment in sim racing I've ever had.
Ty Higginbottom is your 5th annual GTR 250 champion. The 17 will win 2 weeks in a row. Rookie Jordan Kalenian, first career win in the NASCAR Series. Jared Ireland well on his way to the checkered flag. Adam Wilson victorious at Dover. Andy Hurdle first career win in the NASCAR Series. CD Mangrum to the checkered flag wins the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 175. This win is going to punch his ticket to the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup Playoffs. Charlie Sears wins at Monza. Who is it going to be? Contact to the line! Kalenian gets turned. CD Mangrum wins at Indianapolis. What a finish! It's what you've all been waiting for. It's what 4 drivers in particular have been waiting for. A winner-take-all sudden death championship finale at a track that's become familiar with many as the place to crown an Earl Ross Cup champion. And tonight will be the most competitive championship finale and playoff round we've ever seen in series history. 4 drivers, 1 race, 1 champion, a new champion. It all starts now. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another live production of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue on iRacing. Tonight, we conclude our 5th season of operation with round 22 of 22, the Championship 4 race. It's the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. On the call here tonight, as per usual, the voice you're hearing right now is from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. He's been here since I've been here since season 3. It is Regan MacAulay. On the other side, he's been here since the very beginning. He's on the other side of the country in Alberta, Canada. It is Jordy Kerher. Now, at the moment, we do not have Jordy with us. Good old tech issues are playing with him once again, so we'll have to roll through this pre-race show just a little bit here without him. Fingers crossed he'll be able to get in here and be able to commentate with us into the championship finale here tonight at Homestead-Miami Speedway. But of course, before we get into all that tonight, if we're able to at least save the Championship 4 discussion until he gets in here, at least for the time being, we might as well talk about last week's race at the Auto Club Speedway. It was the Nordic Aluminum 200, where, as a matter of fact, we had a non-playoff driver claim the win for the first time since Season 4. Justin Belmonte in the number 6 Warrior Racing / GTR Ford from Pachico, New York, went to victory lane. He conquered a fuel game late in the race. Pretty much throughout the whole race, we ended up seeing for maybe 80 to 90% of it up until about the final 15 or 20 or so laps. It was pretty much all-out pack racing. It was a melee. We somehow didn't have a bunch of big wrecks. We had a couple multi-car incidents, but nothing major, nothing that took out a bunch of contenders, that's for sure. So definitely props to all the drivers for making it one hell of a competitive race, where again, for 80%, 90% of it, it was all pack racing, 3-4 wide action, a bunch of lead changes, and then we had the fuel game come around at the end, where of course Justin Belmonte took advantage and once again claiming a win at Auto Club, just like he did last year as well in the second race of the season, barely beating Corbin MacAulay to the line in an incredible last lap battle. That was his second career win at Auto Club Speedway and fourth career victory overall. And taking a look here at the results, of course, Belmonte getting the win after qualifying in 7th. He led 10 laps, and then the drivers finishing in 2nd and 3rd for the second week in a row, Charlie Sears and CD Mangrum. Man, oh man, what a bunch of storylines that we have here to these two. Charlie Sears, man oh man, for the reigning IndyCar / Darts Series champion, going into his first season in a stock car where he was just absolutely inconsistent for most of the regular season, was able to make his way into the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup Playoffs thanks to a win at Monza, our first ever race overseas in the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. And then come around playoff time, things rapidly change with him. He starts to get a couple more better finishes, and what do you know, in the last 5 races with 3 top 10 finishes, including 2 runner-up finishes in the round of 8. Man, oh man, he peaked at the absolutely perfect time. He is indeed going to be the underdog in the Championship 4 here tonight. And then, of course, you got CD Mangrum, who also won a stage in the Nordic Aluminum 200, finishing in 3rd place for the second race in a row. Kyle Nolan, Darcy Ford claiming top 5 finishes. They were both eliminated in the round of 10. Ryan O'Toole claiming his career best finish in the NASCAR Series so far with a 6th place finish after qualifying in 16th. Ty Higginbottom 7th, Jordan Kalenian in 8th, Adam Wilson 9th, Corbin MacAulay rounding out your top 10 after qualifying on pole and also winning a stage. Unfortunately, was caught back in the fuel game. 15 cars finishing on the lead lap: Hunter Young, Mason Tomlinson, Jason Heaney, Andy Hurdle, Trevor Binns with top 15 finishes. Tom Janikowski, Jason Butler participated. Jose Mercado, man oh man, the bad luck that he had in tonight's race. And after all the momentum that he had going into this one, where he actually did have a legitimate shot at getting into the Championship 4, just falls way too short. There were 2 incidents that caught him in the Nordic Aluminum 200. Mark Ouellette and Jared Ireland also had some bad luck in there as well. A couple drivers that did not start. But with all that being said, it looks as though we have our color commentator in here finally. So, Jordy, do we have a copy?
Benvenido a Miami, Reeks.
I think I should have you good there. Now, there we go.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know how good I'm going to look on the other side. I am just beat. But you know what? Just like the Championship 4, I am showing up when it matters the most.
Exactly. As long as you're here for the championship finale and you're here for the whole way through it, that's what matters. I was just going through the results of last week's race around 21 at Auto Club Speedway. Of course, a non-playoff driver getting the win, but Justin Belmonte, of course, I actually forgot this fact too. Basically clinching the best of the rest challenge. Again, there is something outside the playoffs as well to give other drivers something to compete for. So, guess you could say congratulations to him, but officially speaking, we'll save things until after tonight, along with also the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion, which will be determined at the end of 134 laps and 200 miles here tonight at Homestead-Miami. But, Jordy, you got any quick thoughts from last week's race? You know, Justin Belmonte getting the win, conquering the fuel game. Charlie Sears and CD Mangrum peaking at the perfect time with incredible round of 8 performances. Ryan O'Toole with a best career finish in 6th place. Like, there's just so many storylines that we saw out of last week's race, which is what set the stage and is what was, it's what got us here.
It did, absolutely. And again, we talk about, coming through in the clutch. You mentioned Charlie Sears and CD Mangrum in this round of 8. I mean, Sears especially, again, he started very much outside the top 4 coming into the round of 8. And like all we've been saying over the course of the playoffs is, if Charlie
Oh boy. And he's gone. Nope. Now he's back. There we go.
Hey, on my screen, I never left.
That's the thing. It's weird on our little graphic. You stay there the whole time, but in the software, it's like, anyways, go on.
Right. So, yeah, Charlie Sears being clutch, starting outside the top 4, going into the round of 8, did what he had to do at Chicago, then, consolidated that, as you mentioned, with the Auto Club performance. I mean, even if you throw the Monza win in there, I'd call that the performance of the season for the 32. And, you look at the standings and where everybody was in the regular season, like, you might look at a guy like Charlie Sears as an outlier. We've talked about, the adjustment to the next gen car over the course of the season. I think the man is there. He's absolutely here with a chance. Like, ultimately, that's all that matters. And he's peaking at the right time. CD Mangrum seems like he's back on form. And then you've got a potential record setter in Jordan Kalenian, tied for the single season record with 8 wins. And then, the guy who's been 3 times the bridesmaid, never the bride, Corbin MacAulay here, wrapping up this championship 4. And you know what? Like, all these guys want it, obviously, but we'll see who's the hungriest of the bunch. And I don't think it'll take long to figure that out.
And that's the thing. Any of these 4 guys could get the job done. That's basically the top storyline going into tonight. That's why this is going to be the most competitive championship finale that we have ever had, regardless of wins and such, because of course, Kalenian and MacAulay have combined for the most wins all year. Like, Kalenian with 8, MacAulay's got 4, Mangrum only has 2, Sears has 1. Like, regardless of that, it's not really about wins necessarily. It's just consistently with raw talent and raw pace, raw speed, every race. Like, you basically have the top 3 drivers from all season. And then you have Charlie Sears, who you could argue is a bit of an outlier. But the thing is, though, the playoffs provide an opportunity where you just, if you peak at the right time, then there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, all or nothing here tonight. Like, there really isn't much more to say, as you see on the graphic. It's just one and done tonight. The pastels are out, we're in paradise, and someone's going home with a big prize. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and then just this right here speaks for itself when you see all the names of just how competitive this season has been. Again, got like the top 3 drivers all season, but then you got that one other spot that Charlie Sears was able to snatch up in the round of 8. You got guys like Ty Higginbottom and Darcy Ford, former champions in the series, drivers like Andy Hurdle, Jose Mercado, and Adam Wilson, who all showed winning speed every now and then. Guys like Kyle Knoll, for example, too, Mike Marini, Jared Ireland in there as well, who made the Final 4 last year but came up just short. So again, it's just there were drivers that showed up when they mattered the most, and Sears certainly fulfilled that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's been survive and advance pretty much for the last 6 weeks here. So, kudos to all 4 of these guys for getting that done. I mean, it might have felt a little bit anticlimactic for your Jordan Kalenians and your Corbin MacAulays. Not so much in the round of 8, though, in the case of the 17. So that might actually not have been the worst thing in the world for him, knowing that, he had that one race that didn't go his way in Chicago, but he had to fight for it. It's not like he was coasting into the championship 4 this year, like not in the round of 8 anyway. So the fact that there is a little bit of that competitive fight there, that he's had to endure a bit of that, you might see a different animal here tonight, one who might have learned from past experiences.
That's the thing too. The big advantage that we could see here tonight out of these 4 drivers is who has that hustle, who has that fighting momentum. As of recently, we basically seen it out of Mangrum, MacAulay, and Sears in the round of 8. Because obviously, like for example, with CD Mangrum, he was the most consistent driver in the regular season, average finish of 4.8 according to what I was able to tally together. But then in the playoffs, heading into the round of 8, like. He didn't even finish inside the top 5 through the first couple of races, and in the round of 8, he was able to pull off back-to-back third-place finishes, which is why, he's here. Like, overall, 8.3 average finish in the playoffs compared to his regular season with 4.8, so, again, these past couple of races here, they might be able to kind of give him that push, that fighting momentum right there. Of course, and then Corbin MacAulay as well, he was only 9-10 points above the cut line going into last week's race at Auto Club, and we just know what the history is with him, this is his 3rd Championship 4 appearance. We saw him fall just short back in 2020. 2023, the championship was right there in his grasp until a speeding penalty cost him at some point during the race, but what truly matters out of that is there was a penalty, and it absolutely killed him. And, there's a couple third times the charm situations that we got going on here because, CD Mangrum back in Season 3, he finished 5th. Season 4, he finished 5th. And now, the 1 Championship 4 appearance that he makes here, could he finally get the job done this time around? MacAulay making his 3rd Championship 4 appearance, could he have the 3rd time's the charm this time around? And then, looking at other guys like Jordan Kalenian, he's won 5 of the last 7 races. He's claimed pole in 4 of the last 6 races. He's finished on the podium 8 of the last 11. He's led the most laps out of any driver this season at 923. First Championship 4 appearance, by far the greatest first-year driver campaign that we've ever seen in series history out of the Salisbury, North Carolina native, again with 8 wins, 7 poles, and 21 starts. He really came out to shine in the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. It could be any one of these guys. It could be. On paper, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 at best for sure going to be going for it, but again, anything could happen.
Even still, if it's like that, 2 or 3 out of 4 isn't bad. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see, 1, 2, 3, 4 eventually at some point in the evening. What the order is, I don't know. But, we're not too far away from finding out.
No, we are not. We got 20 cars here on tap to do battle here in the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. And I can certainly say that some of the top positions in qualifying are interesting.
Okay, so maybe not as academic as we thought.
In ways. Interesting in ways. There's some non-surprises, and then there's, it's up and down. We'll put it that way.
Fair enough. And, yeah, as you say, we're not too far away from finding out who's going to be kind of separating themselves here and who's going to have to fight a little bit.
Absolutely. And so with all that being said, qualifying is going to come to an end here. I'm going to go into race control and give these guys a quick message, get these engines fired up with the most famous words in motorsports, and we'll get underway for one final time here for NASCAR racing in 2024, the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. 4 drivers, 1 race, 1 champion, winner takes all. Who do you think is going to get the job done? Put your opinions down in the comments. Jordan Kalenian, CD Mangrum, Corbin MacAulay, or Charlie Sears? Could we see a driver win the title in their first Championship 4 appearance? Can Corbin MacAulay finally break the curse that has been against him since the very beginning of the series? Stay tuned, folks. You will not want to miss any of the action the next couple of minutes. The starting lineup for the 2024 Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race coming up next.
What is gas? Me after taco night.
Insert the final countdown.
I don't know if we can legally.
No, we cannot copyright speaking.
No.
But anyways, with all of that being said, let's introduce the starting lineup for tonight's Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Starting on the front row, are you surprised one bit? It's the number 17 Chevrolet from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, sponsoring Bulger Motorsports, Kawasaki, and a bunch of other people. Corbin MacAulay starting in first. Alongside him is the driver that's been battling with him all season long, the number 0 Toyota from Salisbury, North Carolina. It is Jordan Kalenian looking for a Earl Ross Cup in his first year in the NASCAR Series. Moving on to row number 2, where we have, oh, would you look at this, the number 32 Chevrolet for 499 Racing out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Charlie Sears, the underdog in this Championship 4, looking to make a name for himself, impress, and shock everybody with an upset for the ages. Alongside him is the best of the basically the best of the rest challenge champion, the driver that won last week, looking to go back-to-back here. Is the number 6 Ford for Warrior Racing / GTR from Pachico, New York. It is Justin Belmonte.
All right, let's go. We head into the back end of the top 5 here, and we have a guy who was eliminated last week from championship contention, the number 21 Tornado Alley Racing Toyota of Adam Wilson out of Laurel, Delaware. Again, he starts 5th. Then we have the final party in our championship 4, another Tornado Alley Racing driver. You know, we're in Florida, but he's close to the Florida-Georgia line. CD Mangrum out of Atlanta, Georgia starts 6th. On to row 4 now, and we got a couple of day 1 OGs here. The number 41 GTR Motorsports Ford of Jose Mercado, the home state guy, Florida man, if you will. The Kissimmee, Florida native will start 7th. And on his outside will be the number 64 519 E-Racing Chevy of Darcy Ford, the Harrington PEI product and Season 2 champion, starts 8th.
And now to the bottom row of the top 10 in row 5. Starting 9th is the number 9 car. The number 9 Toyota out of Altoona, Wisconsin, driving for Koopa's Racing is Jason Heaney. Alongside him is the driver of the number 15 Toyota for Storm Surge Esports out of Wendell, North Carolina. It is Kyle Knoll. Just outside the top 10, row 6, starting in 11th, where we have the number 7 Chevrolet for 519E Racing at Daytona, Ohio. It is Andy Hurdle. And alongside him is the driver of the number 4 Chevrolet out of Eudora, Kansas. It is Mason Tomlinson.
Rightio, and we go to Season 3 champ Ty Higginbotham in the number 97 Tornado Alley Racing Toyota out of Kansas City, Missouri. He'll start 13th tonight. On his outside will be the number 10 519E Racing Chevy of Jason Butler out of London, Ontario, who starts 14th. On to row 8 now. We go back to the Koopas Racing outfit, where we find the number 33 Toyota of Trevor Binns driving out of Winter Haven, Florida, starting in 15th. And we got another day one on his outside. Mike Marini in the number 12 Toyota out of Thunder Bay, Ontario, will start this one 16th.
I skipped a row there. That's very unfortunate, so we're going to have to...
Did we? No, you were good.
Okay, now we're good. No, now we're good. I did skip a row there for a second there. But anyways, on row number 9, where we have the driver who got his career best finish last week at Auto Club in 6th place, the number 16 Chevrolet of Ryan O'Toole out of Portland, Oregon. He starts in 17th. Alongside him is the driver of the number 93 Chevrolet out of Appleton, Wisconsin. It is Tom Janikowski. And now onto the final row. This is better time in here. The number 80 Toyota for Koopas Racing out of Georgina, Ontario. It is Mark Roulette. And around at the field in 20th, the number 13 Chevrolet out of Eudora, Kansas. It is Jared Ireland looking to end his season on a high note.
Ooh, somebody about to make a name for themselves here tonight.
Indeed so, and here is the race analysis. 134 laps, 200 miles, 40 laps each, stages 1 and 2. Final stage will be 54 laps. Pit road speed is 50 miles per hour, and the fuel window is about 29 to 31 laps. So unless we get a couple of incident-related cautions, we should most certainly be seeing some green flag pit stops occurring and some interesting strategies to play. But of course, too, the thing is with these stages, for the Championship 4, stage points don't matter one bit. It's basically whoever is in first at the end of 134, fingers crossed, 134 laps.
Yeah, tonight it's just whatever it takes. I mean, we've joked about the term before, but, you know, you just might have to literally empty the tank to get the job done here tonight because, again, the Earl Ross Cup is going home with somebody here tonight.
A new Earl Ross Cup champion is to be crowned here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Green flag in the air.
And pretty much a dead heat off the line here, it has to be said. And I don't think you'd expect anything different here so far.
Into 3 and 4, MacAulay and Kalenian first and second place. The 17 has cleared the way. CD Mangrum has already moved himself up into 4th place. MacAulay leading the first lap. Justin Belmonte up into 3rd.
Charlie Sears down 2 spots.
And he's 3 wide in the middle with Ford and Wilson.
Oh boy, maybe not the ideal start here for the old 32.
Couple battles going on right now through the midfield. Ford trying to use that high line to get an advantage on Charlie Sears. Couple side-by-side action going on in the next couple of rows back. Almost 3 wide.
Yeah, and while that was going on, I think I might have to make a shout-out to one Jose Mercado. I do believe that may be a Mark Martin throwback he's running.
Looks like it.
Valvoline anyway. Signature red, white, and blue.
Side by side, or almost side by side, with Jason Butler's number 10 car. I believe that one might be a first timer. I've never seen that one yet.
Well, save the best for last, right? I mean, that's also what the Championship 4 is thinking. Well, that or if you're not first, you're last, because that literally applies tonight.
Darcy Ford and Kyle Knoll got pretty much right up against each other. They're going into turn 1 now on lap 4 of 134. MacAulay in the lead, and just to make things a little bit easier to know where all the Championship 4 drivers are. Ta-da!
Ah! There we go.
Now, unfortunately, the drivers are not going to swap around in numerical order. That's a bit of a flaw that we have with this system we're using. But regardless, the number beside all these drivers is still where they're positioned. So there you go. Oh, wreck on the front stretch. Big pile up, multiple cars getting into this one. Andy Hurdle, Jose Mercado, Charlie Sears. He might be okay. He might be.
Yeah, he's kind of living on the edge here already, and we're still in the single digits for laps.
We were just getting past the lap, or we were just getting onto lap 5, and a massive pile-up breaks about mid-pack. Darcy Ford, Kyle Knoll, Jose Mercado was in it, Andy Hurdle. Charlie Sears might have had an absolute heart attack form of a close call there. That was that was about as out of left field as Corey LaJoie's flip at Michigan.
Yeah, yikes! I mean, if it's gonna happen, at least it's kind of getting out of the way early here. We see a car pointed very much in the wrong direction here as we look again.
Oh, no, Sears was... Oh, man, no, we didn't catch the back end of the car.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's lucky that wasn't worse.
And then they just pile in.
Yikes. Ooh, Hurdle with a hard hit there coming through.
Janikowski kind of had nowhere to go as well.
Yeah, Mercado definitely got the worst out of that. Yeah, head on with Darcy Ford. Not ideal to say the very least.
So we'll get a bit of a far chase angle here with the 32 because... Yeah, he slid up the track, bit of a mistake there, hit the wall.
Yeah.
And then Ford gets into his left rear quarter panel. And just chain reaction from there.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a heavy hit.
Huge championship implications for one driver.
Well, make it... Oh, no, never mind. I was trying to find Mangrum on the board here, but I see him in 7th.
Man, oh man, would you look at the number of cars on pit road?
Yeah, interesting choice here, because again, we were talking about the fuel window being 29 to 31 laps, and that's roughly where we are right now, 32 remaining in this stage. So, might be able to save a little bit, especially if you run another lap or two under caution here.
There's a bunch of cars here that have come down pit road for fuel, including CD Mangrum. MacAulay and Kalenian both stayed out.
Yeah, I mean, go with what works here so far. Yeah, because this here is very quickly shaping up to be a bit of a duel, so to speak. But, yeah, we'll see whether or not CD Mangrum has an answer. I imagine he will. And, yeah, the kind of overarching story here is, yeah, there he is. What's going to happen with Charlie Sears and his progression?
And tragically, that might be a championship driver out on lap, or at least out of contention on lap 5. But now we're on lap 8, coming to lap 9.
Show must go on.
Yeah, drivers taking the green flag for this early race restart. Corbin MacAulay, Jordan Kalenian in 1st and 2nd. How about Mark Roulette in 6th?
Yeah, I mean, really solid start for him. Started on the back row, if I recall. Him and Jared Ireland. Just look at them both up there, 6th and 7th, respectively. Perhaps benefiting from some early pit stops and track positioning, but nevertheless, you're there. And it looks like, is Sears going to stay on the lead lap here? It looks like he just barely will.
He's on the back stretch. The cars are coming off of turn 2 now. So, never say never.
No, I mean, when you're involved in something like that, like, staying on the lead lap is crucial, obviously, just to not put yourself out of it straight away here. Look at the run Tomlinson's getting off of that top line, though.
The good old Kyle Larson line at Homestead-Miami.
Yeah, getting a little bit of a follow from his fellow Eudora, Kansas product there, Jared Ireland, right ahead.
The thing is, too, with those highline runs, you want to really make sure they don't scrub up against the wall, because man, oh man, the runs that you can get off of corner exit is wild.
And, I mean, you've already seen the impact of even a subtle wall tap here in the early going.
And looks like Kalenian's trying to take advantage of the highline here, trying to catch up to the number 17. We've seen these guys together a couple of times this season, although it has been a little bit of a while, though.
Yeah, it's been quiet in terms of head-to-head, certainly. But, again, they both made it to the point where it matters the most. And, yeah, let the games begin.
And we're just coming to lap 13 here of 134. Again, reminder, the stages are 40, 40, and 54. So there's plenty of racing to go here. It's just a matter of if you can have the right strategies to get to the checkered flag. Not the green checkered flags necessarily, but the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to finish first, as Murray Walker once said, first you have to finish. Again, that's another one of those racing cliches, but here we are. Everything applies. Everything's on the table. Leave nothing to chance here, especially if you got a title in your sights.
So there are a bunch of cars right now that are multiple laps down. I believe now we have 2 DNFs here from that lap 5 big one. Trevor Binns and Jose Mercado are both out of the race. Darcy Ford and Kyle Knoll are still on pit road, 9 laps down each. Jason Butler as well at 8 laps down, but Andy Hurdle is back on track 4 laps down, trying to at least salvage some sort of finish here to the season. Meanwhile, Charlie Sears just getting to the start-finish line now. He's still on the lead lap, but these lead lap cars are quickly catching him.
They are. I mean, he's got to make some friends down the back straight here to at least try and maintain a bit of a gap here from, you know, his fellow Championship 4 contenders here, because as you say, they are rightfully so breathing down his neck, or at least they will be soon enough.
We're seeing here in the live chat, Mercado had 40 minutes of required repairs, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and while we're referring to both Jose Mercado and Trevor Binns, by the way, saying 30 minutes.
Yep.
We swear that this race was not set up as a prejudice toward the Florida drivers. It's just unfortunate happenstance that, you know, both of them happened to be out early.
Indeed. So here's your Championship 4 live standings at the moment. CD Mangrum is back here in 6th place. We got Tornado Ali Racing 4th through 6th. Ty Higginbottom's 4th. Wilson is 5th. Mangrum is 6th. Justin Belmonte still holding firm in 3rd, trying to keep up the momentum from last week's win at Auto Club Speedway, again conquering the fuel game. We'll see if something similar happens here tonight, and maybe he'll be able to get the job done once again. If we see in the background, yeah, just barely, you saw in the top right-hand corner there, Sears very quickly being caught up to by MacAulay and Kalenian. And I'm seeing here in the live chat, Jonathan Swainson, IndyCar signups or IndyCar registrations will be out later this week. We had decided to keep the focus on NASCAR here up until tonight. So as soon as NASCAR is all said and done, within the next couple of days, be on the lookout across our social media pages for any potential drivers interested in participating in Season 3 of our IndyCar Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. So it's a little bit more time, and we will have them out on our social media pages very soon.
Added benefit of having 2 weeks, 2 weeks off, and then the third would be the start of the IndyCar Series, as opposed to just taking the 1 week off. We get to breathe a little bit.
Actually, that'd be the 10th.
Yeah, so it's 27th, then September 3rd, there's nothing, and then September 10th, yeah, as you say.
Yeah.
So 2 full weeks off, and then the third one is where we'll be back live again.
And good God almighty, yes, the 2-week break, finally. No offense, but finally.
No, I'm right there with you, and, you know, through the playoffs, like, you know, I was doing my best to track everything. I was really hoping to not have to do math tonight, but here we are. But, I mean, what you're about to see is the numbers aren't lying, and the numbers are about to say Charlie Sears is a lap down.
Indeed, the 32 has been now passed by the 17 and the 0, so Sears is going to have to hope for a couple of miracles here as this night goes on. Yeah, he's basically wall riding right now.
Yeah, we may have spoken of that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that potentially. But it goes without saying that right now he would very much get the free pass between stages 1 and 2, as long as these two don't happen to catch anybody else.
Well, Kalenian's the one that at the moment is competing for it, so I'd say keep an eye on him more likely. He's been hogging the high lines here throughout this first stage thus far, while the 17 has been sticking to the inside, and the distance has remained about the same for a little bit here. There's just an ever so tiny gap that has started to increase. They're both separated by about 3/10. Now it's 6/10. But Kalenian, what's most important is that he is making sure that the 17 does not get away. Although again, though, we're gonna have a mandatory 2 restarts regardless. So he's gonna be up there with him no matter what, unless stuff happens on a certain part of the track.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll be coming up to that soon enough here because, as you mentioned, our leaders haven't been there yet.
So Higginbottom just pitted for fuel. He has dropped to 13th. He's 1 lap down. Yeah, the fuel window is 29 to 31 laps, so there's a little bit more time until we'll be able to witness some of these guys head down pit road and see how things shake up here for this first of 3 stages.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, the caution laps would certainly extend that window here as well. So maybe you're looking at more like 30 to 33 instead of your original 29 to 31 concept there. But we'll see who blinks first here in terms of, you know, fuel mileage, whether it's, you know, tires to get that extra little bit of speed. Again, stages don't really matter tonight though, so just a matter of, you know, keeping yourself pointed forward and yeah, just being aware of where the rest of the championship 4 is around you. If they're not ahead, that's a good thing for you.
So things have quieted down ever since we had that lap 5. Big one now, almost a second separating the 17 and the 0 and Jose.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at before.
Maybe it would be best for me to say nothing. That may sound a tad biased, but just I think I want to maybe avoid it just out of respect to every driver.
Yeah, just, I mean, all anybody wants is for things to be earned on the track.
Exactly, as it is downpouring outside my window.
Yeah, it is very much not doing that here.
Apparently some pop-up thunder showers are supposed to happen around Corbin and I's area, so fingers crossed that we don't have a lightning bolt hit our home.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I don't know why I laughed so hard about it, but that's what I was thinking about.
The scenario I joked about is that he's going to come to the checkered flag and, well, bam.
Yep.
But then the downside of that is we wouldn't have a broadcast.
This is also true. You know, this would be like, what was it? I mean, Dallas would be too outside of your age range. Insert a series with a cliffhanger ending. It'd be like that. And yes, I realize I just aged myself by referencing Dallas.
Yeah, she's really, she's really pouring.
I was gonna say, like, you know, real life NASCAR, we had hail melon. Hopefully you're not having hail storms there soon enough.
No, again, there's a driver competing for a championship and a broadcaster that, quite frankly, if his internet goes out, then you don't even have anything yourself.
Which, it would be rare that, you know, I'd be left with a connection given how things are going. But anything can happen.
Here we go for Championship 4 drivers.
All right, yeah, we kind of figured, well, they stayed true to the window. And yeah, it's Kalenian who blinks first.
And he's going to go for just fuel.
I mean, 11 laps if you feel good with the balance of the car right now. If you think you can hang on to the tires for the remaining 10, 11 laps of the stage. I mean, nothing wrong with saving a little time. And here's the response.
MacAulay now down pit road with 11 laps to go in stage 1. I have not heard anything beyond my headphones, so that's a good start.
Yeah, that was a splash and dash as well.
And let's see where Kalenian comes out. So the 17 making his way out here along that little... You wouldn't necessarily call it an apron line, but it's right off the banking. It's all in turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4. That's where you're supposed to... Or actually, no, in turn 4 you exit off the track, but then going through turns 1 and 2 you have to exit off that that specific lane.
Uh-oh. So when you said you didn't hear anything before...
Did the rain do something? As into my ears?
Maybe. I was gonna say, we need our trackside reporter to tell us what's going on here. Although I think we might have a good idea.
Oh, not enough fuel?
Interesting. I was gonna say, it was a very quick stop.
Yeah, it was only like 4 seconds.
Yeah, so just a miscalculation there. And that's going to catapult, again with a K, because it's Jordan Kalenian. No, he's down in 10th. What in the... Oh, I guess just people cycling, yeah.
Yeah, we still have yet to have a bunch of other drivers come down pit road, like first through... Or I'll just use this.
Well, technically, they would have during the caution, potentially. But, you know, not necessarily on schedule, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a bunch of drivers. I imagine a bunch of those top guys did come down during that caution that we had on lap 5 due to the big one on the front stretch. But Justin Belmonte currently leading the charge over Adam Wilson by just over a second and a half. MacAulay is behind Sears and Higginbottom in terms of cars 1 lap down. Roulette's in 14th, so MacAulay will have a bit of a ground to try and gain here, but of course we'll have to see how it all cycles out when these other drivers will pit, whether it's in a couple of laps or maybe they try to keep their cars going until the caution.
And the biggest thing for Corbin MacAulay right now, like, yeah, there might be, you know, ghosts of Christmas past coming up right about now, but the difference between this year and last year, whatever impact there was, he's got time to make it up. It was a very different story a year ago. He's still got 2+ stages here to get back up to the head of the field, and you know what? No reason to give up at this point, especially not when you're so close to what you've been after for so long.
And so our side pit reporter here, Jose Mercado, says that everybody that did pit under that lap 5 caution will be able to make it to the end. So Justin Belmonte might be on his way here to a stage victory. And yeah, isn't it just isn't it great but also unfortunate that when we have these live chat pit reporters that the only way we get them is if they crash out?
I know, it's unfortunate, yeah. But it does provide very important context.
It does.
Over the course of the evening.
Indeed, it does. Only a couple laps remaining here in stage number 1. Jordan Kalenian's back in 10th. Charlie Sears 12th. Corbin MacAulay is 13th. Higginbottom is right there in behind Belmonte. Sears is back here just coming off of turn 2. MacAulay just now getting into turn 2.
Yeah, right now, though, CD Mangrum, if the race results were to hold, he is the guy ahead of the rest of the Championship 4 right now. So, provisional, well, no, I'm not going to say it, but if it were to end now, you know what the end result would be. We'll put it that way.
And honestly, probably the best way you can put it is that any one of these guys could deserve it. So...
Oh, I mean, we've been saying that from the start. And as I say, hopefully it's the kind of thing that's decided purely on the track.
As long as that is the case, they can race their way to a Earl Ross Cup, or battle their way to an Earl Ross Cup on the racing surface, then indeed that would be very pleasant, as now we have 2 laps to go for Justin Belmonte coming off of turn 2. If this were a race where stage points truly matter, then CD Mangrum and Jordan Kalenian would be on their way to getting some valuable points there. But of course, that literally makes no sense to say because, quite frankly, they do not matter, except maybe for some drivers trying to maybe gain a couple of positions in the points that obviously reset for everybody that was eliminated and drivers that didn't make the playoffs. Like Best of the Rest Challenge especially.
Yeah, tonight's kind of your Who's Line special. Again, just points don't matter. Ooh, that was a little bit jittery there a moment ago.
Jordan Kalenian getting past Tom Janikowski. But here's Justin Belmonte coming off the final corner to the stage checkered flag. He'll claim stage 1.
Yeah, and I mean the prophecy or the thought after the initial caution, it did prove to work out properly in terms of, you know, guys being able to stay out on fuel there after the caution period ended, able to conserve maybe a little bit to make it. I don't know what some of these gauges would look like at the moment, but you get to reset her all here now.
You can tell that man loves his job.
Yeah, there's dedication here, certainly.
And so that was stage number 1. Bunch of drivers now coming down pit road. Pretty much all the leaders, all the lead lap cars are coming down. Obviously, lap cars have to go around. Jared Ireland back there looks like he's taking tires. We'll see if it's going to be a 4-tire stop. Indeed, it's going to be. I imagine for most of these guys, it should be 4 tires and fuel. And it looks like that is going to be the case. I mean, what the hell else would you do? Justin Belmonte going to come out first. Adam Wilson second. Jared Ireland in third. Does the stat man need his stage 1 results?
I mean, I'm not going to object to it. I had to make a bit of an emergency pit stop of my own. But now we're back in the saddle.
So stage 1 results, there might be one position I might not have correct, but we'll just go with this. Justin Belmonte first, Adam Wilson second, Jared Ireland third, C.D. Mangrum fourth, Jason Heaney fifth, Mason Tomlinson sixth, Mike Marini seventh, Ryan O'Toole eighth, Jordan Kalenian ninth, and it's either Janikowski or Higginbottom that's not, 10th.
All right, nice to see a little bit of variety in those names. Again, this final race of the Earl Ross Cup Playoffs Season 5.
So Tomlinson's been in his box for quite some time. Darcy Ford trying to set a Guinness World Record. I believe Kyle Knoll, geez, I haven't toggled that off, and sometime I'm surprised I never noticed that. Kyle Knoll is the third DNF of the race now. I mean, it makes sense. He's literally talking in the chat.
Yeah, I think Jose might have turns 1 and 2, and then Kyle might have turns 3 and 4. We'll make sure our broadcast crew can get along, though.
And so, Corbin MacAulay, lucky dog.
Yeah, initially we thought it would be Charlie Sears before the miscalculation that we wound up hearing about. But, yeah, now the guy who largely set the pace over the course of stage 1, again, back on the lead lap. Don't be surprised if he tries to cut his way through the field, as Belmonte will take a dip into pit lane.
Hurdle and Marini are just exiting off the pit road. So is Tomlinson and somebody else. Tom Janikowski was the 10th place finisher because Higginbottom was on the edge of the lead lap. But now the lead is going to be inherited to Adam Wilson for this restart on lap 46. So we are going to have 35 laps here in stage 2, if the math serves correctly.
Yeah, interesting dynamic here at the head of the field. You've got a guy who's proven to be fast in the form of Adam Wilson. He could punch a bit of a hole in the air for one C.D. Mangrum right behind him. Maybe look for a bit of a slingshot here, potentially. Especially with Kalenian immediately behind Mangrum in our gridded up lineup here.
So Wilson's first, Ireland's second, Mangrum is third. He is the top Championship 4 driver at the moment. Jason Heaney's fourth. Jordan Kalenian right behind Mangrum in fifth. Ryan O'Toole in sixth, looking to try maybe to get an even yet another career best finish here tonight. Maybe try to go for a top 5 finish. Ty Higginbottom seventh. Corbin MacAulay in eighth on the inside line. He's got Higginbottom blocking him from Mangrum and Kalenian. Charlie Sears still one lap down. He's catching back up to the top pack here along with Tom Janikowski. There's the green flag. Stage 2 underway.
All right, homie, still a long way to go, but, time to get there. It's getting shorter and shorter here as, Wilson, decent job of taking off, and Mangrum trying to follow that line. Kalenian doing the same as MacAulay's trying to part the waters here.
3 wide for second. Here's Kalenian down to the inside of Mangrum. That might have been a deceiving look at all. It looked like it was 3 wide there. Jared Ireland really using that high line. He just about tapped the wall. Kalenian's going to slide up into second place. Adam Wilson still holding firm in the lead. MacAulay going to try to get a high line run here and get past C.D. Mangrum for the 4th position.
Yeah, that's a signal of intent there from both Kalenian and MacAulay because, again, Jordan Kalenian, he's very, very comfortable at the head of the field, and everybody knows once he's there, it is very hard to claw him back in. And Corbin MacAulay, he's trying to make that jump with him, and he's made his way up to P3.
Now the 17 will be charging after Jordan Kalenian for the 2nd position. Adam Wilson has 2 Championship 4 drivers charging after him. That's 2 first-year drivers here. They're going to be battling for the lead in the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race as the sun begins to set. Absolutely beautiful sceneries here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. Kalenian to the inside for the race lead.
Yeah, and again, you saw the speed that he had off the restart. Once he was able to get into a bit of clean air, it felt pretty much academic that he'd wind up at this particular point. But again, Corbin MacAulay is not letting him get away here. Mainly because he can't afford to.
Why is he missing a front end?
Well, I think the hedging question here is, why is there no caution? But if you recall, he did hit pretty hard in that one competition incident. The fact that he's in pit lane, though, is a bit of a head scratcher.
No. He didn't. It was the back end that he had damage in. There was no front end damage in that wreck, so something must have happened that we did not see.
Oh, boy. And again, the fact that it didn't trigger a caution, this could, be the proverbial death knell here for the 32.
Oh, yeah.
Just, got loose out of 4, it would appear. And then, just struggling around the track. Obviously missed out on pit lane where that happened. But we're not missing out on anything here. Let's go.
Battle for the race lead and the championship. MacAulay versus Kalenian. The top 2 drivers all season long. The 17 going to clear the way on the inside on lap 51.
Yeah, tonight's pole sitter back at the top of the heap again when it matters the most. Still, very long way to go here tonight. But knowing that he's got Jordan Kalenian in his rearview mirror, you're happy you're ahead of him.
Oh, he's in the wall.
But, oh, man. Yeah, he is extracting every last ounce of energy and speed off of that high line. But, again, for the Championship 4, if you're seeing clear track ahead, that's all you want to see. If you see immediate contenders ahead, you got to make some moves.
And so Mangrum has fallen all the way back to 8th place, while MacAulay and Kalenian continue to hold firm in the top 2 positions. Adam Wilson not letting them get away just yet. He wants to try and end his season off on a high note after being eliminated in the round of 8. Jared Island, of course, was an elimination in the round of 12, so he'll be also another guy trying to salvage his season. Jason Heaney looking to try and claim a top 5 finish here tonight to end off what has been a solid first year for him.
Yeah, indeed. Again, his highlight was taking the stage win at Charlotte. Nearly made things interesting in the second half of the regular season. Just the initial consistency wasn't quite there as he was kind of getting comfortable with the surroundings and the drivers here. But, there's a lot of guys you can talk about throughout the field where you can see the potential there for, as close as the racing was this season, you could expect it to get tighter and tighter moving forward.
It's kind of a close-up angle right there of what Kalenian has to face on the high side, being right up close to the safer barriers around turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Jason Heaney to pit road.
Okay, maybe
Mark Goulet also.
2 Koopas in early here. Because really, that's only 10 laps of green flag racing that we've seen here in the stage. Now, potentially interesting thought here. Again, so, yeah, we're getting, again, more intrepid trackside reporting here, potentially looking for a bit of a burst here from the 6 of Justin Belmonte, who, again, we've seen him be incredibly fast. Just a matter of making sure he has the mileage. And yeah, according to trackside reporter / round of 8 casualty Jose Mercado, he could potentially make it to the end of the stage at this point.
I mean, we saw him conquer the fuel game last week at Auto Club Speedway. Can he do it for a second week in a row in the championship finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway? We have seen him always, really benefit from strategies and such. He really knows how to strategize when it comes to pit stops and the pitting game and all that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who's comfortable with himself behind the wheel. He's comfortable in what he's capable of, and he's a guy who's able to make adjustments on the fly and effectively make it stick. We saw it plenty of times in season 4, not so much in season 5, or at least not early enough to get him into the playoffs. But you know what? The skill is almost always there for the 6. But yeah, we'll see if this particular premonition comes true as well.
Mike Marini and Ryan O'Toole going at it a more mid-pack here, or midfield, sorry, for 8th and 9th. MacAulay has been holding firm against Kalenian by about half a second or so here as we are approaching 20 laps to go in the middle stage.
Yeah, 20 laps to go in the stage. We started with 20 drivers. We've lost a quarter of them now. That's 5 DNFs I'm reading.
Yep, that's what happens there. That lap 5 big one took out a bunch of good cars, and then we, of course, have been seeing some stuff recently, as well as what we're seeing now is Jared Ireland making his way to pit road.
Indeed you are, and again, this is kind of effectively splitting the stage in half here in terms of making sure your mileage is good until the next stop between stages 2 and 3. And again, fairly quick and academic here for the 13 out of Eudora, Kansas. Meanwhile,
yes, meanwhile, still these two going at it. The gap between them keeps kind of going up and down from 3/10 to 6/10. It's just all over the place here with 20 laps to go in stage number 2. And as our side pit reporter says, the 17 liking to roll the bottom line nicely because it gives him the advantage of clean air and a clean racetrack.
I mean, who wouldn't want that overall, right? And I mean, you're seeing the performance coming out again. Tonight's pole sitter found his way back to the head of the field in spite of the fuel miscalculation in stage 1. Like I said, plenty of time to get back where you need to be, and job not done, obviously, but first part of the mission accomplished.
And would you look at that, 60 DNFs.
Oh boy.
So one Championship 4 driver out, 3 left.
Yeah, and then there were 3, and they're all running in the top 5.
Adam Wilson to pit road. He is down to 5th place now, but yes, it is all MacAulay, Kalenian, and Mangrum inside the top 4. Mangrum is all the way back here, just getting through turns 1 and 2, while everybody, this lead pack here is getting through turns 3 and 4. So, still some time left to try and get back within a little bit of this match going on right here up at the front. But maybe perhaps Mangrum might have a long run, long game kind of in mind.
Well, like I said, while we were, going through the grid, this is the night where you got to empty the bag of tricks. So if CD Mangrum's running an alternative strategy, we're about to find out if it's potentially a championship-winning move or something that's not necessarily cost him dearly, but obviously wouldn't fulfill the objective.
So 5/10 separating first and second. Belmonte just getting to the start-finish line there. He's 7 seconds back of the top 2 cars. Mangrum 4th. Mike Marini looking for a top 5 finish. Ryan O'Toole in 6th. Tom Janikowski is in the 7th position right now. Adam Wilson just cycling out. He is now in 10th place at 1 lap down with 16 laps to go here, or coming to 15 to go in stage number 2. Now it's about a second, or almost a second, separating the top 2 cars now. And currently the stints, if we look at laps since last pit, 22, 23, 21. So still some time left here until we'll have some more green flag pit stops. And of course, it'll be interesting to see once again if Justin Belmonte can pull off yet another interesting strategy here, as Jose was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, again, you saw the proof of concept last week at Auto Club, like you mentioned. And you know what? As I said earlier, he's a guy that's, is capable of making things work in different ways. So, yeah, don't be surprised if he tries to pull another trick out of the bag here, so to speak, as, Car 6 might want to signal some intent for Season 6 whenever that happens to come down the pass.
Wilson getting past Janikowski for the 9th position now. 6 cars now left on the lead lap, so again, just a couple laps away here from another green flag pit window.
Yeah, it's, again, running pretty much according to plan at the moment here. Find some wood to knock on, even if you have to potentially get struck by lightning to do it.
Yeah, we'll make sure. We'll keep our fingers crossed that does not happen here as this race keeps getting closer and closer to the end.
Right.
And this is the final time in the NASCAR season we'll be on a certain lap as, wow, Kalenian was loose off of the corner there.
Indeed he was, and, perfect description for that nice lap, I have to say. Yeah, just a wee bit of a wobble there, and yeah, he kind of hinted at this ahead of tonight's race, and that, he mentioned that he could be loose out of some of these turns, especially if he's on the high line, and, we're seeing proof of that here right now.
Leaders are going to be approaching now to 10 laps to go in stage number 2. The stints are starting to now get to about 26, 27, 25-ish for the top 6 cars.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, again, stage 2, it still feels maybe a touch early to do anything rash. Sorry, I'm going to have to go off mic here. Sorry about that, folks. But, yeah, I think just a matter of keeping things consistent as much as anything else. You don't want to blink on track position. That's one thing I'll tell you for free.
Indeed so.
Yeah, especially, now that I got some air back in my lungs to make that point.
Now 9 laps to go. Stints at about 28, 29, 27, so we might see a couple guys start to come down pit road in just a little bit, I'd imagine. About that.
Or how about now? Yeah. Matching strategies.
Oh, both of them are down. Wow.
Yeah, and I think both of them got in there cleanly. Like, Kalenian had a bit of extra momentum going in, but I didn't see any smoke to indicate any lockups or anything like that. So, think we're good here for both of them. Hello, pace car driver. But, yeah, we'll see what this looks like. Should be, again, relatively routine here. Kalenian out first, though.
Ooh, just barely. It's been like just over a second and a half separating their pit stop times. Justin Belmonte has inherited the race lead. But, oh yeah, boy, this might get things in. This might be interesting here. Kalenian's able to hang on over MacAulay. We did see the 17 quickly get to the race lead there at the beginning of stage 2. Are we going to see another potential charge here in a little fun battle that could foreshadow what's to come, coming to the checkered flag at the end of this race?
Well, I mean, it's funny that we're talking about this battle, considering the fact that neither of them is the virtual Earl Ross Cup champion at the moment. Because that, of course, is CD Mangrum still in second.
Indeed it is. So 2nd, 5th, and 6th for the Championship 4 drivers. Belmonte will be coming around to 5 laps to go in the 2nd stage. And why not get a little bit of this, bit of a mid-race championship battle between the 0 and the 17. Ooh, Kalenian loose.
Well, didn't we establish a couple of weeks ago that it was officially the 00 this whole time?
Yeah, something like that. But the excuse I had was it was so late in the season where I was just like, screw it.
Just run with it?
Basically, just whatever.
Well, I mean, he's certainly hoping his luck doesn't turn up 00s here tonight. Again, the objective is as clear as it could possibly be for him.
Side by side for what's basically 2nd in the championship right now, but could very well be 1st in the championship later on here tonight. Justin Belmonte's still holding on to the lead. Kalenian loose once again on the high side. Still side by side, door to door with the number 17, who still hogs the inside. Kalenian still hogging the outside. Sun appears to have fully set now here. Just a couple laps to go in stage number 2.
With the potential to be coming up on, well, no, it's not even lap traffic. That's for position. That's O'Toole ahead.
Yeah, Ryan O'Toole in 4th.
Look at that man go. He's found something here the last couple weeks.
Oh, geez, both these guys are going to have to split Janikowski.
Yeah, that's certainly what they've been able to accomplish here. I think that's going to benefit MacAulay maybe a little bit more than Kalenian. It felt like...
Ooh, MacAulay might have had a loose moment there. Kalenian's going to swap to the inside.
Yeah, I think MacAulay would have had that there if not for that loose moment, because I think as they were trying to split Janikowski, it kind of impeded Jordan Kalenian a little bit more. But, the loose moment for the 17, they had traded positions. Now they're back at it.
Indeed so. Kalenian still loose there between the low and middle lines. He's right up against the left door there of the 17. Now they're both clear as Justin Belmonte has taken the white flag for stage 2. C.D. Mangrum just got to the line there in 2nd place. Looks like MacAulay might be able to hold firm here for 5th over Kalenian, but he's going to have to try and get past Ryan O'Toole here for 4th.
Well, again, the only number he's got to be looking at right now is, where's the 1? He wants it beside his name at the end of the night, but there's a guy bearing that number on his car who's in the way at the moment. And again, is your would-be virtual Earl Ross Cup champ if things were to end right now, but we still have a very long way to go.
So Mangrum's going to... Belmonte got first, Mangrum 2nd. Marini is going to come off the final corner and hang on for 3rd over MacAulay. Kalenian 5th. Ryan O'Toole will be 6th. Adam Wilson 7th over Jared Ireland. And 8th, Ty Higginbottom is 9th. And Jason Heaney rounding at the top 10 here in stage number 2.
Yeah, and I think, we've got the stage set for a pretty good show here in the very final stage of Season 5, it has to be said. I don't think we were expecting anything else. Okay, why did I... Oh, no, I just came back. Okay. Yeah. 2, 3, and 5 on track right now. I would not be surprised to see those 3 bunched up here at the restart in some configuration. But, again, we'll see if anyone tries anything rash here. I think right now you still keep it semi-regular on the pit stops. Make sure you maximize your speed, obviously. But, we're definitely looking at 1 green flag pit stop here in this final stage. And, yeah, that could well be where this championship is decided. Indeed.
So, taking another look here at the comments section, we got Island 20 84, that would be Chris Bingley, the Oysterbed Speedway race director. So a little shout out to me and also Corbin as well. Hopefully he will indeed make the PEI racing community proud. And Jason Butler with the little cha-ching comment.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought I wasn't going to have to do math, but now my curiosity is going to get the better of me in terms of the exchange. Because, I mean, Kalenian already got his Rampage coffee from the round of 12. Now he's looking for even more beans here if he's able to take this Earl Ross Cup.
So Jared Ireland has now inherited the race lead. He did not pit, but Belmonte, Mangrum, MacAulay, Kalenian, Wilson, Higginbottom, and Heaney all just pitted for 4 tires and fuel. So 3rd through 5th, Championship 4.
Yeah, again, figured they would wind up together here on this particular restart, and that has indeed come to pass.
And for this being the 3rd and final stage, the pressure is now on. Overthinking might be at an all-time high. But man, oh man, just, again, too, as long as you have the right strategies and you save your tires and you're up front towards the checkered flag, you will have a shot at becoming an Earl Ross Cup champion, the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion. We are just, I'd say, maybe like, what, a half hour away or so from officially crowning it?
Somewhere in that ballpark, probably, yeah. And I think you mentioned the pressure being at an all-time high. We know Corbin MacAulay and Jordan Kalenian, fantastic off of the restarts, as we pretty much just saw a drag race off of pit road there. But you know what? As good as they are, this is the one time where you absolutely cannot get trigger happy here and potentially cause something. Yes, CD Mangrum's ahead of you, but it's also true that, you know, there's still 49 or 50 laps by the time this caution period ends to get the job done on the track. So, you know, just don't jump the gun and cost yourself, you know, potentially a title here. Just get it clean, get the rubber down, and just take off. But again, do it in such a way that, you know, you're not compromising yourself in the long run.
So cars are lining up now, double file behind the iRacing safety vehicle. This could be very well the final restart of the season. I may very well just jinxed it right there, but it could it could very well be the final restart that we have here in all of Season 5 of the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. The Season 5 Championship finale, the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race at Homestead-Miami Speedway. We are ending the season in no better way than under the lights with some wild action here with 3 of the Championship 4 drivers all within close proximity. They're going to do battle here for about 50 laps or so, and one of them will be walking away the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion. And again, this 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion is going to be a new one on the Earl Ross Cup.
Yeah, no repeats over the course of the first 4 seasons. And again, that obviously accounts for the transition from the Heat console games to here. But this is where the rubber meets the road, Riggs.
CD Mangrum, Corbin MacAulay, Jordan Kalenian. Who's going to get it done? Green flag, final stage.
And Belmonte got a really good jump off the line there, but that's going to punch a hole for MacAulay. That's going to put him into P2. And most importantly, ahead of both Mangrum and Kalenian here.
Ooh, Jared Ireland sideways, but he saves it.
Ooh, boy.
MacAulay about on the rear bumper of the number 6. Kalenian and Mangrum are side by side in behind. Man, the 17 got real close. Belmonte might have done a bit of blocking there if my eyes were correct, but Kalenian and Mangrum just swapped lanes right there. MacAulay still behind Belmonte in second place. He wants to inherit the race lead and be able to try and get away from the 2 Championship 4 drivers that will look to get beyond him.
And again, the other variable here, significantly longer stage than we saw in stages 1 and 2, especially under green flag conditions here as Kalenian just absolutely riding that high side and, was still fighting Mangrum at the very least. A little bit of a gap forming there between those two. But again, right now, as long as Corbin MacAulay's ahead of them, those two are fighting for second.
Woo! They're really going at it for the race lead, and that's helping Kalenian catch up.
Yeah, there's absolutely no love lost here between Belmonte and MacAulay at the head of the field. We've known that over the course of the last 2 seasons. So if Corbin MacAulay wants his Earl Ross Cup, it is not going to be handed to him by any means.
Absolutely not. We all know Justin Belmonte is a guy who loves to win races and will fight for them indeed. And no more ironic way than to finish off the season with possibly these two drivers going at it again.
Yeah, because, that's how the iRacing era started, was these two pretty much being side by side, whether it was Daytona or Auto Club at the very beginning. And, kind of a full circle moment. Belmonte's back, baby. Oh, there was a touch there for sure.
MacAulay slid up just a little bit. There might have been contact. And how about this? 4/10 separating the championship 4. Kalenian might try to use the high line to make it 3 wide.
Yeah, with all apologies to Finn the dog and Jake the human, this is adventure time now, baby. You gotta find whatever is gonna work for you. And Kalenian, he is on a heater.
He's really trying to use that high line to take advantage of Belmonte in the middle. MacAulay on the inside, not just yet, but the momentum is right there.
Yeah, he's kind of riding solo here, though. Kalenian going to try and get a little bit of a bump draft there, perhaps off of Belmonte to try and maintain the momentum. Gets off the back bumper here for now, but importantly, that's going to get MacAulay clear.
MacAulay clears Belmonte for the race lead. Here comes Kalenian to the inside of the number 6. And now, if Kalenian's able to clear Belmonte, then it's going to be, once again, the 17 and the 0, or the 00, going at it for the Earl Ross Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Buckle the hell up.
Yeah, and again, don't discount CD Mangrum there in 4th either, because, again, he's very much still in the conversation. Again, drives the number 1, would love to be P1 here by the end of the night dearly. And a couple of near misses in terms of getting to the championship for the last couple seasons. He's taken that step this year. Just how big is that step going to be?
Indeed so, and we might as well, because this is early here in this 3rd and final stage. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors and partners that help us be able to put on these Tuesday night showdowns here on iRacing. Without each and every one of you, we wouldn't be able to be doing this, of course. So for one final time, we'd like to thank Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue as the title sponsor, and also a title sponsor of the series and multiple races this season. Rampage Coffee Co., Piping Kettle Soup, Forked River Brewing Company, Bangarang Hard Seltzer, Nordic Aluminum, GSGSG Vinyl 3D, GTR, and of course, powering the Crank It Up for one final time here in Season 5. It is the TrackCams22.com Crank It Up. And so that was the TrackCams22.com Crank It Up for one final time here in Season 5 of the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. Thank you very much to them once again for providing us with these outstanding and professional broadcast cameras that you see in each and every one of our Tuesday night productions here on the iRace, live productions on the iRacing platform. They will indeed be back for Season 3 of the IndyCar Series coming up, starting on Tuesday, September 10th, rolling through until just before Christmas of this year. And with all that being said, on lap 107 out, 134, Corbin MacAulay in the race lead by almost 2 seconds ahead of Jordan Kalenian. Ty Higginbottom just came down pit road. Looks like CD Mangrum is now just getting past, or trying to get past Justin Belmonte for the third position, which means for the Championship 4 drivers that are still remaining, top 3, Championship 4.
And honestly, you wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, again, the only thing that would make this better is, yeah, if Charlie Sears were still competing and very much in the top 4. But, hey, we got to take what we've got here now. And, Riggs, I think what we've got is we're staring down the barrel of 25 laps left. We got ourselves a bit of a dogfight coming here, I think, especially if they're able to kind of squeeze up a little bit more.
And as long as no mistakes are made when they come down pit road.
Yeah, well, that's certainly around the corner. But yeah, we'll see out of our remaining 3 in the Championship 4, we'll see who blinks first.
Hopefully not literally.
I mean, that might literally be the difference.
That is the thing.
Yeah, not really a whole lot separating these guys over the course of 5.5, 6 months here. Why would tonight be any different?
So oh man, MacAulay was loose on the inside. Oh, he's trying to come to pit road.
Okay, so
Oh no.
I think, did he get sideways just enough to scrub the speed? Notably, Kalenian pitting right behind him.
The ultimate fate might come first either in our live chat or we see it on here.
I mean, it's all quiet on the Western front here so far. Well, no, not yet. Think he might have made it through okay.
MacAulay and Kalenian, both with 4 tires and fuel. Mangrum is just making his way down right now, yes.
Yeah, that's the immediate response 1 lap later to his remaining Championship 4 counterparts.
And so, what we see here, I think we're good.
It certainly seems like it, doesn't it? It looked a little hairy there for a second, I'm not going to lie.
Adam Wilson has inherited the race lead at the moment. Jared Ireland in second. MacAulay has cycled out in third at the moment. Kalenian's fifth. Mangrum just coming off of pit road. And Kalenian is just right there too. So Mangrum has a little bit of distance in behind. So once Mangrum gets back on the lead lap, then I think we might have... Oh no, he just got back on the lead lap. I think it's just over 3 seconds separating those 3 last remaining Championship 4 drivers.
That's certainly what it looks like. It's not the 4/10 that we saw off the restart, but you know what? It might not take much for those 3 to get bunched up again.
Now let's go back to this and right on board with the 17, because judging by what we see visually, nothing happened, no penalties. And yet right here, you would think something would happen, and yet it looks like it was just like a mere couple of inches separating him and back-to-back seasons of a curse.
There was unquestionably a scrub by skewing it there going into pit lane. And, yeah, on-board angles very telling here. Yeah, full movement. And yeah, able to hang on this time. That could well be the difference. Might have been a Herculean save if you look at the reaction of our trackside reporter in the chat.
That right there may have been the pit stop of the season.
Well, with all due respect to Darcy Ford at Watkins Glen, I'd almost call that the save of the season there.
And that
because,
too, yeah.
Again, if it turns into a championship as a result, oh boy, it all comes down to that. That was the difference last year. Now he gets it right. And yeah, we'll just see if he's able to hang on. And he's going to have clear track with Adam Wilson in.
So Adam Wilson makes his way down, and now we are down to the last 3 remaining Championship 4 drivers, first through third. MacAulay first, Kalenian second, 2.5 seconds back. Mangrum is 5 seconds back. We are now under 19 laps away from crowning the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion. Now it's just a matter of, can MacAulay hang on?
Yeah, and, just keeping it clean for any of those top 3 as much as anything else, because you have absolutely everything to play for now. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Well, you can't say nothing to lose, but no reason to hold back is what I'm getting at.
Even Kyle Knoll is shocked.
Well, again, sometimes, the fates have to be on your side.
So yeah, MacAulay, it's funny how MacAulay created what was at the time the save of the season. He caused another driver to be involved in that, and now all of a sudden, that save he just made right there in that pit entry he made, he might have some sarcastic apologizing to do to Darcy Ford.
Yeah, maybe, but it's gonna taste a lot sweeter if both of them have Earl Ross Cups.
Now, I remember the house shaked for another reason last year. I wonder, hopefully maybe this time around, it's going to still shake, but in a more positive manner. Maybe.
I was going to say, you can read that room better than I can, since you're pretty much next to that room. But, the shake might be delayed. I feel like maybe a different emotion takes over if the dream finally gets realized here.
And a dream might get realized here in 15 laps. 15 to go for the 17 of Corbin MacAulay, sponsoring, of course, eMotorsports, Kawasaki, and a bunch of other proud partners, of course. He's looking to represent the Prince Edward Island racing community proudly here. And man, oh man, what would it... would it be ever incredible if he were finally to not be the bridesmaid anymore?
Yeah, again, without potentially turning it into the MacAulay Motorsports Network here, this is one that feels like it would be long overdue if it was to ultimately happen. But again, still got to tick the laps down. And you know what? Nothing's safe until you see that checkered flag.
And that's the thing, too. Kalenian could very well. We might see him maybe saving the tires for the end here. And I was talking to you there during the Crank It Up where we saw him get into the wall a couple times and he started to fall back behind the 17. He has to make sure he doesn't get a little too desperate a little too early as I was saying that.
Oh boy, yeah, he is sliding.
Oh my gosh, he saved it. He did not hit a wall. But that drops him back drastically.
Yeah, brings him into CD Mangrum's clutches for sure.
And Jose pointing out that Justin Belmonte went 2 laps down. By the looks of his last pit stop time, I think he might have had some... maybe he was targeted by the speeding demons.
The pit racing, or pit road gods, yeah.
But now, because of what happened there to Kalenian, now it's 4 seconds separating the 17 and the 0, or 00, however you want to put it. But that right there may have just helped the 17. Now he might be able to get away scot-free to the checker flag. 11.5 laps to go now. But again, though, you never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, Corbin MacAulay, he's been in this situation. He's been on the other side of it a couple of times. He knows at this point that he's just got to drive his own race here. He cannot worry about just how close anyone is behind him. He just has to make sure they're behind him. That's literally the difference here.
I'm doing these because I have not yet. Might as well age this correctly. So weather info at this point probably doesn't matter a whole lot. But anyways, 3 cautions, 113 laps under green, 10 laps under caution. We've had 9 lead changes, 4 different leaders. Jordan Kalenian with the fastest lap thus far, back on lap 116. That actually, that's
pretty recent.
Yeah, that'd be almost 10 laps ago in just a little bit. But again, though, that save he made, though, definitely may have put the nail in the coffin for him, and now he is dropping back even further. CD Mangrum has even dropped, too.
Yeah, I wonder... There just has to be something in the air here for the 17. Like, it feels like everything's going in the right direction here for him. Finally, after, starting all this in the pandemic, if you recall, that's how all this began. It's been a long journey here, and he's single-digit laps away from finally winning the big one.
Hopefully winning the big one and staying out of the big one.
Yeah, that's a poor choice of words on my part there, obviously.
Sorry, Charlie.
But, yeah, that too.
Now 8 laps to go for the 17, 5 seconds-ish separating him and Jordan Kalenian. And, yeah, man, oh man, though, like, it's still going to be it still might be a heartbreaker here for Jordan Kalenian because, again, the most wins on the season with 8, also 7 poles. We saw him absolutely dominate the playoffs, like, winning the first...
First 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah, first 3 in the playoffs, and then winning again on the on the streets of Chicago. Of course, had his momentum broken by Corbin at Talladega, and then Justin Belmonte at Auto Club. We saw him claiming 4 wins in 15 races in the regular season. Then now here in the playoffs, 4 of 6, as he's still getting loose there off a corner exit off of turn 2. Just a heartbreaker, but the thing is, too, at the same time, you have to remember the 17 did win the regular season championship by just 5 points over Kalenian. So the 17, last year, he also won the regular season championship, but ultimately came up short in 4th place in the championship, 4 points last year. But then here, this time around, he might be able to finally be able to clinch both.
And, I mean... in a little bit of a strange bit of symmetry to the predicament Jordan Kalenian faces, Corbin MacAulay was that bridesmaid last year, having won 8 times.
Yes.
Same number as Jordan Kalenian this year. This year, it feels like, again, we're getting to 1 hand worth of laps here now, just about. This might be where the roles get reversed once and for all.
And remember, too, knowing how dominant he was last season, and then this season when the competition ramped up, we saw him have a possibility of not even making it through to the Championship 4 on points.
And as I say, that might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise because might have just locked him in that little bit more at Auto Club last week. Like, yeah, there was, a bit of comfort, but not as much as he would have liked or as much as he would be accustomed to. So... knowing that he had to fight for it here tonight, you know what? I mean, if things hold as they are, it's well earned.
And to the point of Jose Mercado, pretty much everybody came into this race expecting the high line to prevail, but the 17 has home run out of the ballpark with the inside line hogging.
Yeah, I mean, like... you got to figure out what works, and more often than not, the one who figures out what works for them the fastest, they're the one that's going to take off, and we are seeing proof of that, and yeah, we are seeing, the coronation not too far away here, potentially.
2.5 laps to go for the number 17 Bulger Motorsports and Kawasaki Chevrolet of Corbin MacAulay. As a friendly reminder, he's been in this NASCAR series for 5 seasons now. This is his 3rd Championship 4 appearance. It's looking like 3rd time's the charm. Might get to him this time around. He finished 2nd back in 2020. Last year, he finished 4th, and now here tonight, he might be able to finally step up a little higher on the podium and ultimately claim first place. 1.5 laps to go now.
Yeah, again, you can count the number of corners on one hand as of right about now as he comes through 3. And you know what? These are the hardest laps to finish off when you know it's right there for the taking. And just got to keep your head in it.
White flag in the air. Final lap in the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race. Corbin MacAulay, all he needs to do is coast it back to the line, and it's over.
Yeah, he has just left everybody in the dust here. And you know what? This could be this will be a very memorable night. And again, one that feels long overdue.
He is no longer the bridesmaid. 5 years of trying. 5 years of frustration. The number 17, Corbin MacAulay, to the checkered flag. He is your 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion.
Hey, what did I say off the start? Again, I kind of joked about it before, but you know what? This is the night where the Championship 4 had to show up the most. Corbin MacAulay, he was hungry for it. This is in the back of my head, even though I didn't say it. This is the direction I kind of figured this was going to go. And you know what? This is the kind of performance we haven't seen from him in a very long time. But what a time to pull it out for him.
Good season to you too, Jordan. It was a great time running against you and Corbin and Charlie's not here, but for the Final Four, it was a good time.
Congrats, Corbin. Well done.
Unmuted the voice chat there just to get just a bit of radioactive there. Some people congratulating Corbin and thanking others for a wild and competitive season that was Season 5 of the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. And the PEI racing community is certainly going to have their hands up in the air, screaming wildly, because Corbin MacAulay from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, is your new Earl Ross Cup champion. It may have taken 5 years of trying and 5 years of frustration, but the 3rd time was the charm.
Yeah, and again, it felt like, you know, a vintage Corbin MacAulay performance here tonight. And again, he had it ready when he absolutely needed to. This was one where it just felt like he was not going to be denied. And you see the gap that he pulled out at the very end. Like, just an exclamation point on, fulfilling the vision that he's had since day one.
So Corbin MacAulay can now add himself to the Earl Ross Cup alongside, let the memories come through, Ryan Gibson, Darcy Ford, Ty Higginbottom, Scott Bailey, and now Corbin MacAulay.
Yeah, the drive for Earl Ross Cup number 5 is officially done, and again, a long time coming here, but you know what? In a way, Jordan Kalenian, absolutely dominant season here. Will not be surprised if he winds up with a future Earl Ross Cup. Tonight, it just felt like it was always going to be the 17's night. Just the way that, the consistency was there from the beginning, and it was just a matter of not making mistakes. And yeah, ultimately that was what set him apart on the night where it mattered the most.
He was also the race winner, just to point out.
I mean, yeah, that kind of goes, well, not necessarily goes without saying. Of course, it was Dylan Baum who won Homestead last year, non-playoff driver. So not a given, so to speak. But hey, unofficial results there, like, that tells the story, doesn't it?
Well, might as well get through this because there's certainly going to be a lot of stuff going on within the next couple of minutes. But yes, for the first time in a couple of years, as a matter of fact, we have a championship race winner and champion simultaneously. The number 17 Chevrolet of Corbin MacAulay winning the 5th annual Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship race here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. A race winner and a champion. Jordan Kalenian, CD Mangrum, the other remaining Championship 4 drivers in this one after all the chaos that happened there in that big wreck on lap 5. Unfortunately, Jordan Kalenian with the most wins on the year, 8 wins, 7 poles, just comes up short, but still, though, with the runner-up finish, still by far the greatest first-year driver campaign that we've ever had in series history. He put on a hell of a show all summer long. CD Mangrum in 3rd place, just wasn't able to have the competitive speed compared to the 17 and the 0, or again, 00, however you want to put it. But of course, he was consistent all through the regular season. He was able to peak at the right time in the round of 8 when things started to really fall off a cliff for him. And still, though, 3rd place is still better than 5th, obviously, from the past 2 years of his career. Ty Higginbottom, the 2022 champion, finishes 4th. Adam Wilson in 5th. So Tornado Alley E racing 3rd through 5th. A hell of an ending to their season, of course. Jason Heaney, 6th place, last car on the lead lap. Mike Marini and Mason Tomlinson with top 10 finishes, 1 lap down. Ryan O'Toole, yet again, with a top 10 finish, 2 laps down to 9th. Justin Belmonte, we saw him conquering some of the pit strategies and such earlier in this race, but I imagine the pit row gods suddenly decided to go against him. They got maybe a little bit tired of him there towards the end. 10th place, 2 laps down, now to increase the rest of the field here where the numbers get messed up at the bottom because, or maybe Jose Mercado just wanted to get in the spotlight there once again with his name on the stream. Tom Janikowski in 11th, 3 laps down. Mark Roulette 12th. Jared Ireland 13th. Andy Hurdle finishes 14th, 10 laps down. And then literally a bunch of drivers that were collected in that chain reaction of a pile up on lap 5. Charlie Sears 15th. Man, oh man, just a tragic ending for him being the underdog here in this season's Championship 4. But still, though, he qualified in 3rd, and he ran up front before that wreck happened, and he tried with all his might. Hopefully, this will give him the push to come back around in Season 6 and to really come back and be able to fight for a championship once again. Again, the IndyCar Series is coming back, obviously, within a couple weeks' time, so he'll be able to try and go for back-to-back championships on the open wheel side of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Jason Butler, 16th, Trevor Bin, 17th, Darcy Ford, 18th, and or I guess, I don't think it even matters at this point. Mercado, Ford, and Noel just finish at the bottom. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, early end to the night, and, the fact that happened so early, you kind of wondered, is this going to be one of those nights? But you know what? Fully clean the rest of the way. Like, that was, we talked about the drivers potentially wanting to give room to the Championship 4. Everybody was well behaved here tonight, it has to be said. And you know what? It made for a compelling evening. Yeah, the final spread and victory was maybe a touch on the anticlimactic side, but the drama was all there.
And so with all that being said, you might as well get into Discord. This is, go figure, the one champion that we get, we're able to get into Discord, so we're all able to talk together in this little post-race winner and champion interview. I mean, that's what you were, Jordy, that's what you were hoping for personally, no matter the driver that we had, so...
All right, let's throw the old mute button on here to our regular control room, and I'll be over shortly.
Indeed. So as soon as I hit the unmute and undeafen, then we'll be able to hear the screams, the obviously very fair screams of the number 17 of Corbin MacAulay.
I was going to say I might be deaf after hearing some of these. We'll find out.
Trying to find a good angle here that we can get. Yeah, sure, we'll go with this. So as soon as you get into the Discord chat and you mute yourself in our little broadcasting software here, then we will fire on all 4 cylinders, or at least the driver, the number 17, will fire on all 4 cylinders with his vocal cords. Oh, apparently they have 8 cylinders? I don't care.
Even in victory, he can't resist. But no, I was going to say, the wonder of trying to remember your password, but luckily I did get it. So now I can, properly introduce myself to the winners chat, the champions chat, if you will.
And so he is now muted in the software, and here we go. Time to interview your 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. Here we go. Brace yourselves. Hello. Okay, hang on. Hang on a second. Wait, Jordy, speak again for a second?
I mean, 5 years. What's another couple seconds?
Okay, it's the champion that seems to be having an issue.
I'm back. I fixed it.
All right. Okay. Let's restart this. Don't say anything. Hello.
Hey.
Well, 5 years of trying, 5 years of frustration.
Yeah, champion. Yay.
So talk about it.
Oh man.
Domination. That's about it. I don't really know what else to say. I led a lot of laps, and I'm the champion after 5 years.
What do you got, Jordy?
Yeah. I was gonna say, let's just dive right into the weeds here, because again, we saw how clinical that performance was tonight, and it felt like there was definitely a bit of a hunger there to your approach tonight. But let's go back a couple of weeks first, because round of 12, round of 10, it felt like it felt pretty much academic that you were moving on, but then Chicago happens. So last week, you kind of find yourself in a little bit of a fight for your spot in this week's championship for season finale. So was it kind of a blessing in disguise for you to kind of have to fight a little bit last week to get into the mindset going into tonight, knowing what had to be done?
Honestly, it was kind of the most fun way possible. I don't even know what happened at Chicago. I still cannot explain it to this day. My talent just decided to leave the building very fast. I forgot what the brake pedal was, but we'll ignore that because that almost frigged me over big time. And we'll move on to Auto Club, where, I had enough speed to win the race. It's just I got beat by pit strategy, which tends to happen to me a lot. I'm not that great of a strategist, if that's the word. I don't know.
You got it right tonight.
Oh, look at that. So, yeah. My pit strategy is never really great. And let's just say, this is a completely off topic. It relates to this race. But that final pit entry, I don't know, man. I don't know how I did it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people asking questions about that.
You beat So remember Watkins Glen? You got into Darcy Ford and you made him have the save of the season. But now you might have some sarcastic apologizing to do to him.
Well, I don't know, man. Like I was coming in hot. Like as soon as Jordan said he was pitting, I'm like, oh, I got to do it. I got to pit this lap myself too. I didn't want an extra lap on old tires. I wanted to pit the same lap he did. And, I decided to pit very late. I screamed I was pitting at about turn 3. Started slowing down for that. Missed a shift, by the way, on the downshift. That's why it wasn't slowing down very fast. So I just kind of double shifted it, which then got the tire spinning. And then I shifted into first because I was going 80 miles an hour into pit road. And shifter into first, slammed on the brakes, whole car went sideways. Managed to get it down to 51 at the entry, which doesn't give you speeding. So that I don't know if it could have went any better or worse. It could have went a lot worse, I guess. But it's about as close as you can get.
And
Yeah,
I suppose
absolutely,
I
but-
suppose it would make sense to do this when it eventually comes up for live stream viewers.
Look at that. That is the greatest thumbnail picture thing. That's incredible. I've waited so long to see that.
Go figure that the guy that sports the Earl Ross Cup car then just so happens to finally lift the Earl Ross Cup.
You see, when I made that decision to run that Earl Ross car at Rockingham, it was a sign. I knew it was happening.
Go ahead, Jordy.
It might have taken a little while to get there, but bottom line is you got there.
I mean, I didn't make a
And-
fool out of myself by running that car and not winning, so.
This is true. Yeah. No, you did what you had to do. And yeah, to that point, like it's hard to talk about finally ascending the mountain here without, addressing some of the things that have happened over the years. How much sweeter now is it knowing that you were able to kind of overcome those final last hurdles, so to speak, when it mattered the most?
Man, it's just so cool. I mean, like when I first found out about this league, I was just I think I was an 18-year-old college student. I had like barely I had been on iRacing to that point for like 5 years or something like that, but I wasn't really as into sim racing as I am now. And hell, I didn't even have a PS4. I had an Xbox. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I went out and bought a janky one of those boxes that makes your Xbox or your Xbox or Jesus Christ, I can't talk. It makes God damn. All right,
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Have fun.
So I did end up getting a PS4. Well, what ended up happening was that PS4 broke, so then I bought another one. So that was about $800 down the drain just to start off season 1.
Yep.
And then at the time, I also had a Logitech G27 wheel, which the PS4 did not support. So I found this website. It looked a little sketchy, but I bought a $50 thing off of it. And this little box confused the PS4 into thinking it was a G29. And it worked for about the first 3 races until the G27 broke. Tried to fix that. Gear inside of it decided to screw off. And there was another $200 down the drain to go get another G27. And then that one didn't end up working. So then I bought a G29. It was crazy. It was just, I just combined crazy and chaos into one word. That's basically what it was. But then in that season, I managed to get second place behind Gibson, and you know what? I still think about that a lot, like how close it was at that moment. But had some slumps over the last couple of years. I mean, have I made the championship 3 times in 5 seasons?
Yeah, third time's the charm.
This is third time is the charm. Absolutely.
Okay, so 2 seasons, I just wasn't great, but. I mean, man, it's just such a cool feeling. I mean, from where I started to where I am now, to being a part of the group and making broadcast graphics and being behind big decisions and having a say in things and just everything that transpired with the transition over to iRacing. It's just so friggin' cool, man. I've been waiting for this one for so long. It feels so good, man.
And now you add
Yeah, I
yourself
was
to
going to say, now you can finally breathe here.
Regan's not getting a chance to breathe.
No, absolutely
No,
not. But I
no.
mean, the other thing about all that is, like, without that sounding like, the origin story from, like a Days of Thunder prequel, it's crazy to learn all that because a lot of that I didn't know either. So it's crazy to see the twists and turns of this journey. But, like, the other thing is, to get here, you've kind of grown up in front of all of us in a way. You talked about how young you were when you started, and you know what? The progression's night and day. So, I mean, hats off.
I mean, like it's honest. It's true. Like when I first started in this league, I didn't know what patience was. I went into every race trying to win it on every lap. You guys remember that?
Oh, I do very well. Yeah.
So, I mean, just the progression over the 5 years of just virtual racecraft and even real racecraft. Now that I've done that, I mean, it's just so cool. It's hard to describe it. Like I literally, genuinely at a loss for words. I came into this with like a small speech prepared, and now I've just kind of blanked out, and I don't even know, man.
Yeah,
it's just so cool.
This is basically a full-on biography.
Well,
at
you
this
know,
point.
that's for the best, though. Honestly, just let it happen. And you know what? You've earned this without question. As you know, I'll hand it back off to your brother there in the studio. Yeah, just, you know, I say amazing to see the overall progression, and you know, great to see you show up when it mattered. And yeah, this one was very well earned.
I really appreciate that, Jordy. I mean, you've commentated basically every race I've ever done here, so I mean, it's a real honor to it's a real honor to have you behind it as well. I hope you stick around for another one. I mean, we had a blast this year. We had our ups and downs, but this was by far the coolest year we've ever had, and I hope it continues.
Am I good?
Oh yeah,
now?
one other question I did have. I want to say it was the F1 championship. There might have probably waiting. Are we waiting for that again?
I don't remember that. What happened that night? Oh God.
Of some kind.
Okay.
I
Oh
feel
yes,
like
there
a champagne
was.
bottle involved.
Oh my! It wasn't champagne. I think it might have been beer. But the good news is, I happen to live in a household where my brother is the commentator and he is the holder of the trophy. I think
That's true.
I think we better go give it a dusting and drink some beer out of it.
Oh,
I was gonna say that'll be a first.
It will be a first. I can't wait to do that now. I don't care. I work at 8 a.m.
Hey, if that thunderstorm's still going on out there, just do it right in the middle of that.
Oh, if it's pouring rain out, that's even better. 100% going to do it.
100% go for it.
Or you can get the camera ready.
Real-time social media guy. How did this happen?
Am I coming through?
Really
Yeah, I
loud.
can hear you.
What the hell happened?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, as off the rails as this interview has been at times, you were pretty much on the rails tonight, it has to be said. Like, again, domination was the word you used right off the hop. I don't think anyone's questioning that now.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I kind of like going back. That's a little cocky, but I mean, oh well, I'm the champion. I guess I can say what I can say, right?
I mean, you made it happen. That's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Sure, we'll go with that in the
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
friendliest, non-trademarky way. Regan,
It's been a while. Do you have any questions?
Have my mic been having issues this whole time or what?
No, we've heard you the whole time.
I was going to say you were like echoing at one point, but you're good now.
Anyways, all right. So, I mean, keeping up the talk with your Earl Ross Cup. Now you join Ryan Gibson, Darcy Ford, Ty Higginbottom, and Scott Bailey. How's that feel?
I mean, that's a pretty damn stout lineup to be a part of. I can tell you that much. All those guys are OGs. I mean, like it's so cool to be a part of that lineup. I mean, I've wanted to be a part of that lineup since that friggin' Phoenix race back in 2020. It's 4 years later, 5 seasons later. It's finally happened. It's unbelievable, man. It's so cool. I can't wait to. I really hope you get one of those plates made for that trophy. It's been a while since you planned on doing that.
Yeah, I'll have to figure something out with that. I might have to literally give it to you tonight, and you can have your little fun with it for now.
You're damn right I am.
So what? Maybe if we can get a little bit if we can get appropriate in some capacity, if you know what I mean, then I can hand you the trophy, and we could do maybe like a little photo thing or something.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
But I guess the final thing to say is, what would be your final message to everybody here, especially your Championship 4 competitors, Kalenian, Mangrum, and Sears, and just what would be your final words here? Your final words of wisdom here as another chapter in the NASCAR series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue comes to a close.
Honestly, man, my final words would be, what an absolute great group of guys. I mean, for all season long, I'm sure there were ups and downs, but there's going to be. It's NASCAR racing. It's close racing. There's contact. People are going to get mad. That's just how it goes. It's racing. But behind all of that, the group of guys we have on a weekly basis all season long, we're the best group of guys I've ever raced with. We all get along good. We all have a great time. And it just makes it easy for us whenever that happens because there's no drama. Sure, there's a little bit sometimes here and there. But I mean, in the long, if you look at the big picture, there's hardly any at all. We all get along great and everyone races each other clean on the racetrack. And it's been so cool to be a part of that. I mean, the racing with these guys is so fun. I look forward to every Tuesday night I race here. It's every week. It's just so much fun. I hate that the NASCAR season's over already. I mean, it just absolutely flew by. But no, it's just hats off to everyone involved. It's been an incredible season. Lots of great reviews. We've had record viewership. We've had great social media impressions. It's just season 5 went to the moon and it was great. And I love seeing it and I love being a part of it. And I really hope season 6 can be the same. I want season 6. I want the goal to be 30 plus cars. That's my goal for season 6. If it happens, I hope it happens, but I'd love to see 30 plus cars out there. It would make it so cool. The super speedway races would be chaos. I would love it. But going back to the season, Jordan Kalenian, incredible racer. I mean, he had me beat every race, basically. I don't know how I pulled this off tonight with him out on the track because he is one of the greatest iRacers I've ever driven against. And CD Mangrum, all those guys, I mean, it's just surreal. And even Charlie Sears, seeing him come from the open wheel level, he's never driven stock cars before. He comes into this and he puts himself in the championship for first season out in a NASCAR stock car. I mean, the story's right itself. It's just so cool. I was so thankful to be a part of this, and capping off with a championship is the coolest thing ever.
And now you're going to be going to an open wheel where you're now going to have to compete with Charlie for sure.
Yeah, you know what? NASCAR, I look at competitively. IndyCar, I look at fun. Like I just like having fun when the open wheel stuff. Sure, it'll get competitive. It's racing. It always does. But I'm just really looking forward to this IndyCar series and having some fun on the big ovals. Well, I guess there's a short track in Iowa, but street courses, all that stuff. I'm so excited.
That's not a champion mindset.
You know what? Cool. All right, I'm going to win the IndyCar championship. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's a little better. And also, I think Jordan might be trying to challenge you for the best save of the night.
Oh, is he? Did he have a good save? I never saw it.
Oh man!
Look into the chats and maybe you'll find some.
You guys are going to get a live reaction. Hold on here. Let's see.
Oh God!
All right, so he's coming into turn 3 and 4, ripping the fence.
Still he doesn't.
Oh, it's the wall. Oh, sideways, very sideways. Oh my Lord. Okay, yeah, no, that takes the cake.
It's probably you're probably breathing a sigh of relief that what happened to lap 5 happened behind you.
That was surprising. I didn't even know. I wasn't even looking in the mirror, man. I was just looking forward. I saw the caution come out and I looked at the broadcast and half the field stacked up. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
All right, with all that being said, we might as well close this chapter. Obviously, just to conclude this very quickly, is there anybody else you'd like to thank, like sponsors, family, friends, anybody else that helps to get you out every single Tuesday night to get the job done, especially here tonight?
God, I'd like to thank all the sponsors on the race car, whether it be real or virtual, Bolger Motorsports, ARC Carpentry and Flooring, Cavendish Farms. Oh God, who else do we have? Shaw's Towing, O'Connor Glass. Well, Kawasaki's a part of Bolger Motorsports. That Bolger Motorsports sells those, so I mean, it's kind of a part of it. So yeah, but just everyone who's helped me get to this point. I mean, like. There's too many people to list, man. It's everyone that's ever helped me. Thank you. It's really cool.
And so with all that being said, you're seeing it right here on this graphic here on the live stream. Your 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion was decided here tonight in the 5th annual technically it's not 5th annual. Anyways, the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship Race here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. The Season 5 Championship Finale won by the number 17 of Corbin MacAulay out of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. He wins the race and wins the Season 5 NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Championship. 5 years of trying, 5 years of frustration. The third time's the charm in his third Championship 4 appearance. He gets the job done. Corbin MacAulay, for one final time, you are an Earl Ross Cup champion, a new Earl Ross Cup champion. Congratulations, and I feel like if I say celebrate well and safe, that's no.
Some fun is about to be had because you know what? I'm the champion. Let's go!
Just don't do a Spencer Gallagher.
That's not going to happen. Don't worry. Trust me.
All right, good to know.
We're going to party like it's night now.
Jordy, any final brief words?
I mean, I think there's been a lot said. I don't know if there's much else to say. Like, again, just left it all out on the track. It was a performance for the ages, Corbs, and yeah, just as I said earlier, very well earned, and yeah, enjoy this one.
And so, with all that being said, there it was, your post-race winner and champion interview, getting the race win tonight, and also simultaneously the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup Championship, the number 17 of Corbin MacAulay. Jordy, man, oh man, we knew it was going to happen at some point. We just knew. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah, there was just something different, in the air tonight, so to speak. I mean, as I asked Corbin about earlier, like, he kind of had to fight for this one to make sure that he was in. And, ultimately, I think that kind of locked him in for tonight. And, yeah, once that green flag flew, it felt like there was very little doubt, and it was just kind of punctuated, over the course of the evening, even overcoming that fuel miscalculation in stage 1. We kind of forget about all that as we look at the end results. But you know what? That was just a case of him kind of, not worrying about it too much, which is a shift from how things may have been handled in previous seasons. So again, that showcases the overall maturity and growth that we've seen over the course of the 5 seasons out of him. And like I've said a couple of times now, this one unquestionably well earned here for win number 19 of his career here in the NASCAR Series.
Absolutely, indeed. So with all that being said, that means another chapter in the history books for the Canadian E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue has come to a close. Our second season in the NASCAR Series on the iRacing platform certainly exceeded expectations and really was able to build out the momentum that we had back in our first year on the iRacing platform back in 2023. And man, oh man, we were able to see some of the most competitive cars and stars to ever participate here in the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. And our fingers are crossed that we'll be able to see a bunch of them back in action within a couple weeks' time for Season 3 of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network IndyCar Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. That is slated to begin on Tuesday, September 10th at the same exact time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Atlantic here on our YouTube channel. So we'll have a couple of weeks to relax, take a break. Not as much pressure. Well, obviously, we'll still be active on all of our social media pages and such to kind of close out this NASCAR chapter smoothly and be able to transition into Season 3 of the IndyCar Series. So, Jordy, that was the 5th season of operation here in the NASCAR Series. Hard to believe we've come this far. It's hard to believe how quickly things flew by. But in the end, we crowned a new Earl Ross Cup champion, and it was a guy that had been waiting so long for it, and finally gets the job done. And one more point I'll make too, last year we saw him be so dominant that, like, it's just, if you understand where it's like this year where he really had to compete for it versus last year where he was basically the top driver all season long, there was that fight and whatever that he needed this year. And ultimately, that's what got him the championship. And there's a part of me that thinks, it was just meant to be because of that.
Yeah, like, again, I've mentioned it a couple of times now. It just felt, as you said, almost like the stars finally aligned for him tonight is basically what happened. And, it's fitting that we're finishing under the lights here because, yeah, he's finally got his spotlight after a couple of different opportunities at, trying to make it happen. Again, he was a big catalyst behind making the move to the iRacing side of things anyway. And, to be kind of the bridesmaid last year, that one stung him. I know that, but, that's all in the rearview mirror now. And, not to shortchange him, but I think I said win 19 a second ago. That's an even 20.
And remember, too, you said it sometime during the broadcast, the first race that he ever won in the network was a preseason race at Homestead-Miami Speedway just before we got underway with the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series. So, story, book, start and ending where he goes out and wins the first ever race in network history, if we were to count non-points races as well, and preseason races, exhibition races, however you want to put them. And then here, 5 years later, he wins the championship finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway. It may have taken him that long, but still, though, it was meant to be. And just for Season 5 in general, with all that being said, that does it for another season in the NASCAR Series. And now, after all that, we push forward and try to keep some momentum going into our third season where we can now officially say IndyCar Series.
Yeah, we can, but I'm more than happy to say we're looking at a break for the next couple of weeks before we get there.
Indeed so. Yeah, just stay tuned to our social media pages for the next couple of weeks as we conclude this NASCAR Season 5 chapter and transition into the IndyCar Series Season 3 chapter. But once again, that was the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Miami Championship Race, round 22 of 22 here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. The conclusion of Season 5 of the NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. Your 5th annual Earl Ross Cup champion is the number 17 of Corbin MacAulay. So, on behalf of Jordy Carher, my fellow color commentator, been here since the very beginning, the rest of the Canadian eMotorsports Network Competition Committee, all of the drivers, staff, partners, sponsors, you name it, my name is Regan McCauley from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, signing off. That is Season 5 of the NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. We will see you all back in action in just a couple weeks' time for Season 3 of the IndyCar Series. Thank you all very much for tuning in all season long. And once again, congratulations to the number 17 of Corbin MacAulay.